Today we're going to make some fondant potatoes, or fondant potatoes, depending on how you want to pronounce it. These are basically a potato that's had its ends lopped off, the skin removed. You fry the two flat ends and then you bake it the rest of the way and drizzle it with some delicious butter. And the end result is pretty darn good. So let's get started. Now I've got 5 Yukon Gold potatoes here. First thing I want to do is I want to make those flat ends, so I'm going to lop off the ends of these. And really what you're trying to get to is a nice looking potato once you peel it. Now, if you really want to go for that, this one here is probably not going to be the best one. But honestly, it's going to taste delicious, so work with what you got. And if you can get them to all be about the same size, that's fantastic. If you can't, it's going to taste great anyway. That'll just help in them cooking at about the same pace. I'm going to go ahead and peel these real quick. And you do want to make sure you get all the skin off, because one of the nice things about this is that just soft flesh of the potato on the sides and the crispy ends. You can use any kind of potato you want, but for this I like Yukon Golds. Like that, where you just have the flesh on the outside. I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil on these. Kind of roll them around in there. We're going to have more oil in the pan when we crisp up the ends of these, but we're going to be adding some seasoning here, and I want to give that seasoning something to stick to. I'm going to hit these with some kosher salt and a little bit of black pepper. All right, that's looking good. Let's head over to the stove and crisp up our ends. So I have my small cast iron skillet here on a medium-high heat, and I'm going to add probably 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's going to get nice and hot, and then we're going to sear both ends of our potatoes. We're going to put them all in there at the same time, cook them, flip them over till we have that nice brownness. Then after that, we're going to add about a half a cup of chicken stock, and they're going to go into a 350-degree oven. Now these are going to cook for probably 40 to 60 minutes. That depends upon the temperature of your oven, the size of the potatoes, but usually in that range is what I find. Usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes per side, but really just look and see when they're golden brown and nice and crispy. Get nice color. We'll be turning these in just a minute. We're going to let that go for another 2 to 3 minutes before we get them ready to go in the oven. I'm going to turn my burner off now. What I want to do is kind of soak up some of this oil that's in here. And get these arranged in here. And we're going to add our half cup of chicken stock. There probably will be some spittering and spattering. Now we're going to get that in the oven, like I said. So I'm going to come back in about 40 minutes and see if these are ready. Let's see if we are tender. I'm just using my temp probe here. Oh yeah, that is butter. So I'm going to remove the potatoes from the pan and we're going to make our butter sauce. Now to my pan here, which has a lot of residual heat, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm going to add about 5 sprigs of rosemary and a teaspoon of minced garlic. And I'm just going to start melting that butter in here, and we'll turn our burner on to low because we're really not going to need much higher than that. That's why I like using cast iron when I make fondant potatoes. You can go straight from the stove into the oven. If you don't have a cast iron pan, you can cook these in a skillet and then transfer them to a baking dish, and then take those potatoes out of there, plate them up, and make this sauce in the pan you cooked the potatoes in initially. All right, our sauce is ready. Let's plate up our potatoes, drizzle some sauce on, and have a taste. And we drizzle. Make sure we get some of that garlic on everybody. It's always good to use the pan that you seared these in. You get all that nice fond off the bottom. Let's have some potato. And if you do it on a bigger plate, you can get some more of this butter around, but this looks good to me. Cheers. That is so good. I mean, just fluffy inside with those ends that are nice and crispy and golden brown. This is a fantastic way to prepare potatoes for a side dish that you don't see a lot of times. A lot of people have made these, but it's surprising to me that more people don't make them around holidays and you don't see them as much because they're so easy and so good. And the key really is cooking them until they're tender in your oven. Every oven is different. The size of potatoes can affect it. The type of potatoes can affect it. So that 40 minutes to an hour is a guideline at 350. Really probe them for tenderness, and that's when you'll know they're perfectly done.